Okay.
Hello, everybody. You are listening to Real Hope with W.L. Laney. My guest today is Harvey Deutschendorf. Harvey, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be on.
Okay, so Harvey, tell me what in the world is emotional intelligence?
Well, emotional intelligence is our ability to recognize, differentiate, and manage our emotions and the emotions of others in our environment. It's basically the way we show up to ourselves and the way we show up to other people. It's the way we're able to synchronize our emotions with our intellect to make better decisions and to have more outcomes, develop better connections with other people. And yes, that's basically it.
Okay, so if I'm not an emotional person, what does it mean to me?
Well, you don't have to be an emotional person exactly, but you should be aware of your emotions, and you be aware of how you come across to yourself and how you come across to others. You know how others react to you, how you show up. Be aware of who you are and how that impacts others around you. You don't have to be necessarily an emotional person that you're out there showing your emotions all the time, but just being aware.
Okay, so how is that going to play out? What do I have to do to be more aware to who I am and who you are?
Well, you be aware of when your emotions are your emotions are getting very high, you're getting very angry or things like that, and how that's playing out, and then being aware of how other people interact to the way you come across to them, how they're responding to you, whether or not they're happy to see you or whether or not they can't wait to get away from you, that type of thing. How other people are reacting to the way you are. So yeah.
It reminds me a little bit about a sales training program that I heard about many years ago, where the person went to the trainer and said, what can I do? People don't like me. And the trainer said, I understand. I don't like you either. and they came up with this brilliant idea that he would go into the interview and he would say to the prospect, other than the fact that you just don't like me, is there any other reason why we can't do business? and so there's probably a better solution than that.
Well, yeah, if you actually think about it, and you think about the when you've made a big purchase, a house or a car, some big ticket item, you think of the person you bought it from. It's very likely that you like this person and you trusted them. Not very likely that you bought something from somebody you really didn't trust, couldn't stand, and couldn't wait to get away from. That's how business works. That's how things work in this world. We connect with people, we like them, we trust them, then we do business with them. We want to be with them, we want to do things with them, we want to do things for them. So if people don't like us, we're going to struggle in life.
Well, I guess it's the old adage: people buy from the people they like.
Exactly, and trust, and yeah. So.
And if you don't have the trust, then you'll lose friends fairly quickly.
Yeah, you'll lose friends. You'll have trouble finding customers. You'll have trouble, on your job being promoted, that type of thing, and your whole life will just be a struggle.
Okay. So Harvey, let's say that I do have a problem that I come across wrong. How do I fix that?
Well, first of all, you become aware of it, and you accept that it is a problem, and then you make some changes. You practice other ways of coming across, and when you practice anything new, it'll be uncomfortable at first. It'll be natural, but over time, it'll become more and more comfortable, and that'll become the new you, the new way you come across. It's, we're not born in any particular way. You say, that's just the way I am. Well, no, nobody's the way they are. They've chosen to be the way they are. And if they've learned to be the way they are, they can unlearn, they can learn new ways of coming across to others, which will be more effective, will get them more of what they want in life. So we can learn. See, our emotional intelligence isn't like IQ, which is basically set by the time we're in our late teens. It's malleable. We can change it. We can grow it, and that's the great thing about it.
Okay, so which is best? Shall I fake being a nice guy, or should I try to be a nice guy?
Well, you try to be a nice guy. You know, if you don't feel you're a nice guy, I mean, you can come across like you're a nice guy, and eventually your perceptions and your attitudes will change as you find that people react to you in a different way than before, and you'll probably enjoy the way they interact with you, and then you'll get to like that. You'll find that's a good way to be. And
so are you saying I should fake it until I make it?
Yeah. I mean, you'll at first it'll be unnatural if you but after a while it'll become quite natural, and your old way of being will feel unnatural. You'll actually have to force that, and at first it'll be forced. You'll have to be conscious of it. You'll have to be focused on what you're doing, because it'll be a different way of reacting. But eventually, that will feel quite natural to you.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you have a person as an example? I mean, don't name their name, but do you have an example that you can give of somebody that actually did make a change in how they came across?
Oh yeah, you're speaking to him right now.
Okay.
I mean, I did a talk once, and I started out in the talk and saying, I said 25 years ago, you wouldn't have wanted to know me. 25 years ago, the person that I am today would not have wanted to know the person that I was back then. I would have, wouldn't have ran away from that person. So I mean, the reason I got into emotional intelligence, I needed to make some changes and in my life, and I did. So I'm a walking example of that. So I mean, most people now want to be around me, want to spend time with me.
So what did you do previously that made people not want to be around you?
Well, I basically said whatever was in my mind. Sorry, whatever was in my mind, I would sort of pop out of my mouth. If it was something negative or whatever, it just sort of no filters, it would pop out. I basically was the type of person that wasn't interested much in other people. It was all about me, and that would turn people off, and didn't sort of show any interest in people. It was very self-centered. And then I started to learn, that's not the way to show up. So what I did, I started showing interest in people. I started asking them about themselves. I started to become a listener. And it turned my life around. It turned my relationships around, and a much better person today for it, a happier person. Yeah.
Okay. And what occupation did you have when you first started the process?
Well, I was actually working as in career development, and helping people to find careers and doing career counseling, that type of thing. And so I could do that when I was working with with clients and stuff like that. I could focus on them. But outside of that, I was basically sort of interested in me when it came to sort of my the people that I hung out with, and I wasn't able to get promotions and stuff like that, because I had a very sort of acerbic attitude, and would look for things to criticize, and it wasn't very supportive. So I had to change all that around, turn that around, and I did so. Yeah.
What was the defining moment when you decided, hey, I have to make a change?
Well, it sort of came, actually, I had realized for quite some time, thinking about that I needed to do something. I wasn't sure, what I needed to do. I read a lot of self-help books, and then I read a book by Daniel Goleman called Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. And I got to page 4, and there's a little sentence in there that said, all your intellectual smarts can come to naught once your emotions hold sway. And I said, aha, this is it. I mean, I'm smart in that way, intellectually, but I'm not smart emotionally. So, I need to change that. I need to correct that, turn that around so that, I'm better in control of my emotions, and I'm sort of can use them, to basically
Okay.
go ahead in life.
All right. So what were some of the first steps you took to turn the emotions around?
Well, what I did was there was a men's group that was just starting up at the time. They're now international, called the Mankind Project. They started in the US and just came to Canada here. And I started joining the group, and it was a group that guys talked about their emotions, and I examined mine, and guys would they would call you on anything, and we started doing this work, and I started realizing a lot of the stuff that was coming out of me wasn't very acceptable to other people, and I started to change that. I started to learn to be more supportive, to be a listening person, to be supportive of others, that type of thing. So I took the edges off of the emotions that were causing me all kinds of problems, and I started to develop new, empathy. I started to learn about people and their feelings, and how to connect with them, how to get along with them, and the change started happening sort of over time, and it's still happening.
And have you written a book?
Yes, I have, sir.
And what's the name of the book?
It's The Other Kind of Smart: Simple Ways to Boost Your Emotional Intelligence for Greater Personal Effectiveness and Success.
Okay.
And the website is theotherkindofsmart.com, the same as the title of the book.
Okay. All right. And where can I get the book? Is it in all the bookstores?
It wouldn't be in all the bookstores. They could be able to order it, but it's on Amazon.
Okay.
And
And people are buying the book, and it's making a change in their lives.
Oh yeah, I've heard from lots of people that have given me reviews and stuff, and said it's excellent. It's given me some good tips, and on things to do. You go through the book, and there's the different areas of emotional intelligence, stories about each area, and at the end of there are simple things you can do to make some changes in those areas if they're a problem for you. So yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to you for a moment. When you started making the change, and what kind of an impact did it have on you personally? Did you become a happier person?
Yes, absolutely. Less angry, sort of less. Became happier. I developed lots of new friendships and stuff, and I started to really enjoy life more. Life became just all around easier. Just
Okay. And were you married at the time?
not at the time, but no, I wasn't. But the other thing too, I struggled in relationships, and right now it's just it's wonderful. I'm just in a wonderful relationship, and I never believed that was possible before, and I am. It's happening because I'm become a giving person. I'm a person that and I'm sort of look after others, and so they like to be around me. I feel
So that's great. That's great. Okay, so kind of sum it up for me. What's the single best advice you could give to our viewers?
Well, the single best advice is if something isn't working in your life, make changes, change it around. You're in charge of your own life, your own destiny, and it's just making the changes that you need to. If you're not sure what it is, ask people that are close to you that will tell you the truth. What is it about me that you would like to see change me differently, that will make me a better person? And then say, this is what I need to do, and start doing it. Start making some changes. Maybe it's at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Harvey, thank you very much for being on the program with me today. And please be safe, stay healthy. I'm assuming you're in Canada.
That's right.
Where in Canada?
Up in Edmonton, Alberta.
In Edmonton. Well, I have relatives in Saskatchewan. I have relatives in Manitoba. Nobody in Alberta at this point.
Yes.
So anyway, thanks again for being on the program. You've been watching Real Hope with W.O. Laney and my guest, Harvey Deutschendorf. Harvey, again, thank you for being with us.